Okay, so on this trip, I think for me, the biggest challenge has just been getting decent sleep. It's the same problem I've had for years. Different mattress doesn't seem to make any difference. I'm lying in the tent, I'm asleep, it's good, and I get, for whatever reason, the circulation cuts off in my arms, and the pain is something else. It wakes me up. Happens over and over again. So my sleep is disjointed at the most. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't think that I'm trying to sleep in a different position. I've sometimes think that I am in the same position at home as I am in the tent. I don't know what it is, but that is the thing that really needs to be fixed for my uh, enjoyment. And I don't know how to do it. I've had Thermarest, I've had my huge Dream Time, I've had the Nemo, and I think in general they're doing what they're supposed to do, and it's something to do with my own stuff, and I don't know what the answer is. And I've had, like, I'll put on this fleece and stuff to make more comfort, and it happens anyway. Um, so I have to figure out why that is, and I don't know. Maybe the internet will know, because I love doing this stuff, and boy, I tell you, if you've got a full tank gas in the morning, that holding you back's the problem, and otherwise you really have to force it sometimes. It's too bad. This magnificent campsite on Obabika Lake. So over here I had my tent, which I've just started to take down. It's about 5:45, and I'm up and ready to go. I got to bed early last night, so there's just an absolute beautiful view here from the campsite. And I spent some time there last night. And then over here is the main area and the fire pit. And like I said, there's my chair. That's where I sat watching things. So that's pretty nice. And then the water access. Now this, you have to understand, yesterday, this lake. So yesterday, this was 2-foot swells and 30-kilometer winds, and it was just coming. And now look at it. It's amazing. So now over here, there's my water bag. And that's been great. So, and over here, along the side, is water access, and my canoe is up in the tree there. Not in the tree, but I'll show you. So there's the canoe. So that's where we'll go in. And today, of course, plan is to paddle out and go home. So today the plan is to paddle out and go home. So it's hard to see it, but there's a point of land here, and then that separates kind of the upper and lower ends of the Obabika Lake. And we're going to go through that and around the corner to the left, where the shorter of two portages exists. So the idea is to do that. We'll probably leave here around 7:30. Probably going to leave around 7:30, so the water hopefully will be about like this, and we can just make that. There's a portage here of about 800, and then if you go around the corner, there's one for 380, which sounds a lot more appealing to me, to be honest with you. So that's what we're going to do, and after that, it's just a matter of paddling down the northwest arm and into Lake Temagami proper and back to the put-in. So that's what today is. Hopefully, it all works great.
Campsite 3 was a really nice site, and it was a very fortuitous location for me given the wind and so forth on Lake Obabika at the time. So my ratings, the landing's a little rough with the rocks, but you can do it. You have to work at it a little bit. Sights, there's all kinds, and it's amazing. Water access, you have to go down. It's not quite handy, but it's not too bad. Cooking area is amazing. The toilet box, it took me a long time to find it, and it's way back in. So that I'll take a half a mark off for it being so far away. The view is amazing, and you can't beat the price at $0. So there's a site rated at 89%.
So my flow in the morning when I'm going to move on to the next site is straightforward. I try to um, eat near the end of when I'm ready to go so that it doesn't put a lot of pressure on my lunch. If you eat right away, sometimes you're hungry by 10 o'clock or something, and then you have to have two lunches or just to manage your food. So I'm going to, when I wake up, which might be, 6 in the morning or something like that, I want to be on the way 2 hours before after that. So, sorry, it's cold here. um, so the first thing I'm going to do is pack up my tent. So all the stuff in my tent, the clothing goes in the bags. It goes into the electronics and so forth. It's been charging all night and so on. All that's taken care of. The sleeping bag and the air mattress, all the rest gets put away. And then the tent gets put away. Now, if the tent is damp, it'll depend. Um, because if you're going to get to your site at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you may find that you're okay. It'll dry out as well. It depends on if it's raining and so forth. I was lucky last night; there was no dew at all, so it's pretty good here. So tent's done. Then I bring all my stuff to a central location. So in this case, it's here. Uh, Backcountry equipment is expensive, and more importantly, when you're on a trip like this, forgetting something, there's not too much extra here. So you forget something, it's a problem. So keeping things in the right place helps a lot. And so that's what I kind of do. And then they always go in the same place in the pack when I put everything away. After that, I have my little station, and this has been absolutely wonderful. My backpacking chair and my little table, and the two bear cans. The other one's already in the pack. I bought a second one, and I just love it because you can see through these things, so you know where your stuff is, and they pack well, and you don't have to hang them in a tree. And it's just that part is wonderful. Um, so I'll sit here. First thing I do is I make my lunch, a couple sandwiches and some stuff like that in a container, and that goes to the top of my pack. So when that's at the top of my pack, then I can grab it easily during the day, so I don't have to tear my pack apart to make a lunch and so forth. So it's pretty nice. Now, I'm not a fisherman, so that's never been an issue for me, and I generally don't have fires unless I'm burning a bit of trash. So after I've done my lunch, then I make my own breakfast. I eat that up and then pack up and off I go. Sometimes after breakfast, you go to the washroom or something like that, so you having a little bit of time after you eat is good. And so, and my lunch, I generally drink Gatorade with my meal, and so I have this water jug in my tent, the red thing, and so if I take pills in the night or whatever, I have that with me, or pills right away in the morning. And then then that's ready for my breakfast, to make oatmeal to wash it down and things like that. And then I make another bottle, which is what's happening right now, which I then put the Gatorade in. So when I got my lunch ready, and so I'm just drinking the Gatorade as well as the sandwiches. So my lunch break then is really easy. So I really like that. The other thing I've done with the pack is I put the food cans on the bottom, and so those are the last things I put in or use, and then along with my clothing, and piled it up to the stuff I would actually use more often. And at the top, I put my pillow, and it does two things nice. One is that it's compressible, so it helps me with sealing the pack, and two, it serves as insulation so that my lunch is not cooked by the sun. So the two things work really well.
Hello, and thank you for watching this video. It is a pleasure to share my adventures with all of you. To help achieve my goal of at least 1,000 subscribers, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to Hiking with Henry and click on the like button for this video. It is completely free and would be of great help to me. Thank you very much.
Okay, day 4, here we go. This is paddling away then from our camp on Obabika Lake, and we're headed for the portage up here through the inlet. What a beautiful, this is the first day without smoke in the air, and we've got brilliant sunshine. It's going to warm things up pretty nice right away. Time to change the glasses, I'll say that. So there's a 700, almost 800 meter portage and a 360. So I'm opting for the 360. Apparently there may well be also a 10 meter one after that. So we're gonna see what that looks like. But that's, 30 feet, right? So there's some kind of a dam or who knows what. And so we're just getting the kinks out here, and we'll bring you up to date. Day 4, our last day on this trip, paddling from Obabika back to the Central Lake, or the hub as they call it, in Temagami. Days like this, why you do this. So this is the neck between the upper and lower Obabika Lakes. My portage is just around the corner there somewhere. This is the first day without smoke in the air, so it's just beautiful here. Gosh, you just wonder why you're going home, and from the standpoint of how beautiful it is out here. God, it's perfect. I don't think any video can really capture just how pretty and beautiful this is this morning. It's about maybe 12 C, maybe 14. Beautiful sun to my left, and absolutely crystal clear blue skies. Fantastic. That's about what you see from the canoe. That's the zoom in that kind of looks the same as when I'm sitting here. So they are pretty nice. And our portage should be around that corner a little bit. Shouldn't be too far. So I've taken the pack over, and I'm just going to pick up the canoe, and this is goodbye, at least on this trip, to Lake Obabika. It's been very nice. So this is called Notchy Lake or the Northwest Arm, depending on which map you look at. One has this lake having a 10-meter portage into the Northwest Arm. The other one doesn't. So I guess we'll find out soon enough. Now that portage that I was just on, pretty nice. There's a bit of rock, but you're going to get that here. But for the most part, no significant uphills. There's a couple of downed trees, which make things difficult. Hopefully that gets cleared one of these days. And compared to a 780, especially when I'm tired, that's an easy decision. Okay, so we're going to see what we got around the corner here as to whether we have to do another portage. So the map was right. Got a little tiny portage here. We're going to see what we got. Should only be about 30 feet or something. They said 10 meters. So we just got to come on in here and see what we got. Slow it down a bit. So my thoughts on the two portages compared to the long one. I don't remember the long one from 18 years ago, but I do remember. What I will say is that the put in on the 380 is tough. The takeout and put in on the short one, which is not 10 meters, it's more like 50, is really tough. Lots of rocks everywhere. Scratch your canoe up for sure. I mean, I don't want to get my feet wet, so I'll take the scratches over that. And I know that's not everyone's perspective, but I don't fancy getting my hiking boots soaked, which will never dry on a trip if I'm going to be portaging or hiking or whatever. So my goal is always to stay dry. Anyhow, so I would say for me, I'd like to have a look at the 780 and see if there's anything, you know, if it's a nice clean portage. It's long, of course, but that might well be worth things versus packing up twice, and especially with the bad put-ins. There you go. Okay, so where are we? We've gone 6. We have 20.6 to go to a high-calorie lunch, dinner, lunner, whatever, at Loon Lodge. So that's the motivation. And thankfully, after we turn the corner here, the wind will help us out. As you can see behind, the air is gorgeous today. There's no smoke. It is dry, crisp. I'd say right now about 15 or 16. Doesn't get any better. Pretty nice. Well, I just had lunch. Really needed that. We're here on the northwest arm and moving closer towards the north arm and crossing over into Mule Bay when there'll be about 6K left. And no, we're not there yet, but that's what's coming. So I had a chance to get some food in me and feel a lot better. So on we go. So that's day one. That's where I went up that way. All the way along there past where you can see. Beautiful. Alright, so got a little over 20K now. Got just under 6 to go. Crossing the north arm. And it's kind of rough here, but nothing like yesterday. It's just the half of yesterday or less. So you just have to keep the boat going the right direction, but it's, you know, it's very doable compared to yesterday. Really was getting close to whether that was a good idea or not. But so I think we're fairly close to Mule Bay here when we come around this corner, and we're going to head for towards Spawning Bay and then turn right and down to the hub. What a beautiful day. Gosh, this is just, I'm with the wind behind me, like I'm going 6.7, 6.8, like this kayak speed is just insane. So that's pretty nice. And that's the thing with all this, you know, you've got days where, okay, it's tough sleeping, or you have a headwind, or it rains, or the portage is harder to do than you thought, or whatever. And then other times you get the wind with you like this, and it just depends on the roll of the dice. And if that happens when there's an obstacle, whether you can get past it or do something else, you know, and go a different route or something. Anyhow, almost done. Been a great trip. I think for me, the best thing was the fact that my arm felt a lot better the next morning, and that I could continue with the trip. I really thought I was cooked at the end of day one, and so I'm really grateful for that. The cliffs, all the way up the north arm, Ferguson Bay cliffs, the secret little campsite I had on day one, the nice morning paddle with calm up to Sharp Rock, and seeing the portage there, the log chute's almost gone compared to what it was 18 years ago. Diamond Lake is just beautiful, even when it rained. It's gorgeous. That sandbar showing up halfway along, so I got my lunch easily there. That was really nice. And even the harder portages from Diamond, the first one from Diamond on the way to Wakamika, it got done. It was just be careful. It was okay. And the second one was so nice that it wasn't as hard. And then that Wakamika was completely deserted. And I got that nice site on that island there. And then, of course, that paddle through I guess it's the Wakamika River. I'm not sure which, it's Obabika or Wakamika, what will clarify. But that was spectacular. I'm going to put a separate posting with just that paddle in it, where in its entirety, because it's pretty nice. And then the hike at the old growth, then the wild ride down Obabika, and then that campsite, last night's campsite, showing up right when I really needed it. It was fantastic, and it wasn't taken, and that was so cool. And then of course today I tried the two portages. It was okay. It's just a little rocky, but that happens. And then this nice long paddle here, mostly with the wind, and absolutely pristine, what I like to call ectochrome conditions. The vibrancy of the sky and the green of the trees and is all open for a show today. I'll tell you, it's just gorgeous. And so now we're just finishing up here. Hope to have a nice meal here before heading back home again. I appreciate so much that you all came along, and thank you for watching. Now getting ready for an after trip snack, and just to the right, the edge of the screen is where the car will be, so it's pretty much over. Not too much of that on Diamond, Wakamika, or Obabika, that's for sure.
Day 4, my final day of this trip, started at my Obabika Lake campsite marked item 1 on the map. The location of the longer 780-meter portage is marked as number 2. I took the option of the two shorter portages, starting with the 380-meter portage marked number 3, followed by the 50-meter portage marked as number 4. I took my lunch at item 5. Item 6 is the North Arm, where I paddled on day 1 of this trip, and I ended my voyage at the Central Lake Access at number 7. For day 4, my travel totals were 25.6 kilometers of paddling and 1.2 total kilometers of double portaging, for a daily total of 26.8 kilometers. For my entire 4-day trip, my totals were 95.5 kilometers of paddling, 99.1 kilometers of double portaging over 6 portages, and 3.9 kilometers of hiking, for a trip total of 108.5 kilometers. This was my first solo trip in a long time, and I was very pleased how it went. Thank you very much for watching my channel.